This is my interview with Elizabeth Camarena. Okay. So, when and where were you born?
I was born in Tucson, Arizona. When? September 29th, 1977.
Awesome. And then, what is your favorite memory from your childhood?
I think just spending time with my family. We used to have on Sunday like cookouts at the house, and all my aunts and tias and tios and cousins would come over. I think the gathering where the kids would play and the adults would sit and chit chat. We would cook, have lots of food, and treats there for the kids as well.
And why was that so special to you?
I think it's special because it's just family getting together, playing childhood games. I remember we used to play wiffle ball outside. And I think as the parents brought that relationship, I think, closer together. So it's more family oriented.
Right. And then, what were some activities you did when you were younger?
Like sports activities.
Just like any activities.
I played softball. I was in, I don't know. What is it? Not ballet, but the baton. Like I was a baton.
Like a flag person?
No, it was just I guess, yeah, but it was different because it was like a childhood, so we would do like parades but it was just with the baton, yeah. It was mostly involved like sports, softball, and just riding bikes and scooters and
Yeah, and like, why did you choose those activities instead of like, say, like dancing or swimming or whatever?
Because my dad played softball growing up, baseball, so it's something that we just did. And they never really put me in any other sport. I don't know if I didn't show an interest or they didn't know because they are from Mexico, so they didn't know a lot of that American culture in that sense.
Yeah.
And baseball, Mexico is big. A lot of people like it, so that's a tradition I think they brought over here.
Yeah.
And we just continued with it.
Right.
Even though my brother did play different sports.
Yeah.
So now that I'm kind of thinking about it.
And then, what was your favorite thing to wear as a child?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, let's just go, like, you didn't really know what you really wore in the 70s because you were like a baby, right? So just go from decade to decade. Like, what was your favorite thing to wear in the 80s?
I'm trying to think. So I was probably like in middle school then, maybe. I remember bodysuits. We used to wear bodysuits.
Yeah.
And like baggy jeans.
Yeah.
That was when I probably had this black bodysuit that I really liked.
And then, why do you think they were so big in the 80s?
What was big?
Like bodysuits and just like athletic wear like that.
I just think it was the fashion that was brought. I don't know.
Yeah.
People just enjoyed it. You're comfortable, but you also felt good in it, I guess you could say.
Sexy, would you
I
even
guess.
say?
I guess so, yeah.
And then, what was your favorite thing to wear in the 90s? You were like a teenager then in high school. I always hear you talk about the 90s.
I love the Bongo brand in the 90s.
Bongo?
It's just a women's or girls' brand. So I loved my Bongo brand. And Esprit, that was another brand. And Guess was a brand that was very popular for us in the 90s. And I remember wearing a lot of denim. I love denim. Yes, a lot of denim. Denim on denim. With like the clog shoes.
Yeah. And like, what was some of your favorite things from the 90s? Because I always hear you like say, oh, the good old days.
The 90s?
Yeah.
I think just the music.
You're a really big like old hip hop.
Like hip hop fan, yeah.
Tupac.
Yes, Tupac and Biggie. I think the music, and it just brings back a lot of memories. I think hanging out with my friends and being in high school and just more carefree and not really have, I guess, all the worries and all that.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. What is your favorite thing to wear from the 2000s?
From 2000s?
Yeah.
So where would that bring me to?
You had me. I was born in 2002. You were like a big
that's right.
beginning parent, I guess.
I'm trying to think what I wear. I think dresses. I wear a lot of dresses then. I think that's when I start wearing a lot of heels too, like in work. Just the heels and I guess more professional wear. But I always love my comfort wear, so I think I always come back to jeans.
Jeans
Or
pants.
active wear,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. And then, what do you think is the biggest difference between you now and then in the past, like say like childhood, high school, adolescence, becoming a parent?
I think I think I've always been pretty confident in myself, but I think over the years I've become more, and I know in the past like I worried more about like what people would think, and I think now I've gotten to the age where it just doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah.
As long as like I'm happy, my kids are safe and happy, family, that's what matters.
Yeah.
So I think I've just grown in that sense, not to please everyone or make everyone, try to make everyone happy.
Yeah. And why do you think confidence was the first thing that came to your mind when I asked that question? Instead of like say like athleticism, health wise, just why do you think confidence was the first thing that came to your brain?
That why
you feel like confidence was like the biggest change in you?
I think because that's sometimes held me back in the past. Like I wasn't sure I could do things, or I was like scared, I guess, to take those risks. And I think now, I still get hesitant, but I think I've grown in that sense.
Yeah.
And I've always been athletic back then and still am, so that's never changed.
Okay. Do you think you're just like kind of have learned to like stop like thinking so much in your head to like that makes you stop you from doing things?
I think so. I think it was more like I would think like always negative. Like if I wanted to do something, I always looked at the negative, thinking something bad would happen versus the positive. But I think I did that because I wanted, like if it did go bad, like I already had it in my mind, like how I could, be prepared and how I'm gonna like work through it. Versus if it was something good happened, then it would be like, oh, good, surprise, I just keep going.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to questions about San Javier because that's what I'm gonna be doing my essay on. So just tell me a little bit like what San Javier means to you. I know you like to go to it sometimes with like my tias or just like go by yourself or your sister. Like, what does it bring you when you go?
I guess comfort, because it's a place where we grew up with. I would go with my family. So I think comfort, and it brings me back, I guess, to memories. And also just a place where I think I can just go and think and be and feel at peace. So it brings me peace, I believe.
And then what would you say is your favorite aspect of San Javier?
I guess the statue, the St. Jude statue they have there.
And why would you say that?
I think because it brings me back to my mom, like when she was sick and all that. So it's just something that, I don't know,
has a special meaning to you.
Special meaning.
Would she like go to that and pray to that like specific statue, or
she always wore like a medallion of them and always prayed to St. Jude. So I think that's the connection I guess I have with it.
Yeah. And then, do you have any memories of going to San Javier with your family? And if so, like, can you just tell us about them?
I do. I think our biggest memory is walking on St. Jude's Day, where we walk. We do them under like walking to San Javier. So we do the family goes, and they have the fireworks. They bring him out like a procession. And I think just being there with my family.
Sorry, just continue.
Just being there with the family and, praying together. So I think that's my favorite memory there.
Do you have like any other just like cute memories with like your family there? Like not even like with like your brothers and sisters, just say like maybe with like your family now. Like has anything like come up in the past where you're like, oh, I really enjoyed doing that?
I think it always brings back to the walks. I even do it with, I've done it with Ixia, your sister, and I think you've done it, the walk with us?
I've done it like once.
Yeah, you've done the walk with us. I think just that.
And why do you think that walk has like so much meaning to you? Because you keep talking about the walk. Like, why is the walk so important? Because there's many other things at San Javier. Like I was talking about, like the funnel cakes, the big hill that I used to like walk up and like touch the cross, just like the architecture.
I never walked up to the hill. I think I've done like once or twice. But I think for me, it's more a place of peace and praying. And yeah, like I guess the popovers, like I love the popovers there.
Yeah.
But I think to me, the biggest memory is walking, doing that walk with my family and being there with my family. And I guess we did it when my mom was sick. We would walk for her, but then after that, I think the tradition kept, and it was kind of like in memory of her.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it holds a special meaning.
And then, why do you think San Javier is so important to Tucson, the Tucson community, if you will?
It's the history. I think it's the history, the architect, like you said. But I think above all, it's just mostly the history behind it.
Yeah.
And I know some of it. I don't know a lot of it, but I know when tourists come, that's one of the places everyone wants to go to.
Yeah. So it's been there for so long.
Yes.
It was the first mission in the Spanish inquiry in the United States, if you didn't know.
Oh, I didn't know.
Well, yeah, it was. And then, what is one aspect you would like to take from San Javier into your own home?
Like, what do you mean, like aspect like that?
Like, what is just like, say, like the essence of San Javier? Like, I don't know, you're somewhat of a religious woman.
Yes.
So I know it like will hold something to your heart that is a religious area. Like, would you say you want to bring more like religiousness into your household? Just like the peacefulness of the whole area, the serenity.
I guess more of the peace.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, somewhat of the religious. I like praying to the saints, I think.
Yeah.
It's more for the saints for me.
Mm-hmm.
So praying and having more of those, I guess, the saints in the house. And my
Yeah.
children maybe being more open to praying to the saints.
Perhaps.
Yeah. So I think, in that sense,
Mm-hmm.
I would like that. And I just think peace, like when I go there, it just feels peaceful. So I guess the peacefulness of it in the house.
And why do you think you need more peace in your house?
Not that I need more peace in my house, 'cause I don't think my house is not peaceful, but I
Yeah.
just think it's more relaxing because sometimes we're always such in a go. And I guess when I think about peace, it's just like sit there and really think.
Mm-hmm.
Like we live such a fast-paced life of work and, school and activities and traveling. And so I think just having that like sitting down relaxation of peace.
The time
So-
just to like think to yourself and to really just like take in everything rather than just like do.
Yeah. So I think more of that, just being more mindful of, I guess, life, enjoying it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. And then, what is one thing you would want to bring back from your childhood? Would you say that you don't really get to like use or just like experience nowadays?
I think for my kids, like more family time with their cousins,
Mm-hmm.
because that was something I think I really enjoyed
Yeah.
growing up. Like we would go to my nana's house, they would come to our house, and I think we just had more family gatherings, not just on holidays or like a birthday party. It was just, cookouts or gatherings. And I wish that my kids had a little bit more of that with the extended family, because I think you guys have it with,
Like
your
a close-knit,
immediate,
yeah.
like my sister's kids or my, your Tia's kids. But I think even with my cousin's kids, because I don't think you guys have like that relationship with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's something special.
And then, what would you want somebody to bring back for your childhood for yourself? Because you said like your kids, but like, what would you want to bring just for yourself? Like, just something like a little selfish thing you would want to do for yourself. Like, I don't want to be like sad, but like, would you want to bring something back like your mother used to do for you? Or
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
like, I remember.
I guess my mom. I would bring my mom back.
Yeah, well, like obviously, but like there was something I always hear. Like, the one thing I always like, remember you talking about her was like her strawberry smoothies.
Oh.
Was there like something like that along the lines where you would want to like bring it back?
Maybe that. Her corn tamales.
Corn
I guess some
tamales.
food. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I had a great childhood, but I also like where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
That
No regrets.
I have the importance. Yeah. That I don't. Yeah. My family and.
Mm-hmm.
I have some of the comfort food that I have. Remember what she made, but I guess more of that. I guess if we're talking like that, comfort food coming
From her.
back from her, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, and just what do you think it was like for you growing up in Tucson to as being like a child of like immigrants?
I don't remember it being too difficult for myself because I'm the youngest child,
Mm-hmm.
but I think more for my sister and brother. I think like my parents coming from Mexico, their parenting style was a little different than some of my friends who were born here, I guess in America. Like as the strictness, like my dad was very strict.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the barrier of like they knew English, my dad, but also not as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I knew my first language was Spanish, so growing up, but I learned the English. So I don't know. I don't think it was too difficult for myself.
Yeah.
Because I think by the time I was growing up, we had already adapted. My parents had been here for a while before we were even born.
Mm-hmm.
So those two.
And then I often, whenever we would go to San Javier, I often would see like immigrants, illegal or legal, like coming to San Javier just to pray. And so why do you think they choose going there rather than like any just like other like random church in Tucson?
I think it's the same thing. Like, it's well known, but I think it also has that the St. Jude and other saints there that other churches don't. I think, well, I'm not sure if they have them or not, but, and I think also it's just closer to the border.
Yeah.
San Javier's a lot closer to the border, so it's, one of the first probably churches that they see, missions that they see there.
Do you think that they feel more safe in San Javier because it is on the Native American reservation rather just like at another church like in Tucson?
I think it is, and I think it's a little bit more welcoming to everyone there. It's open for everyone, and it's always open where other churches are not. They have their times, or they're locked, or this and that. So I think that one's just open for them, where they have that comfort.
Mm-hmm. So, do you have any questions for me on like why I'm writing this, or just anything?
So,
like
why
that?
are you writing about San Javier? Why did you pick to write about San Javier?
I picked San Javier because I knew it was something that was not necessarily really important to me, but it's important to my family. I know a lot of family who likes to go there, pray there, walk around there, just like be in the area. And it is, I guess I have ties to it because I am from Tucson. And so I would go there growing up. And so just to be able to write about it and learn more about the history and just why people go there, why people want to go there, why people still go there, just gave me a good sense of like, kind of like proudness, like, oh wow, like this is in my city, like I'm proud to be from here because this is like here or something like that,
It's very well done.
Yeah, it just gave me like a sense of like pride in my city. And because sometimes I do often think like, ugh, like I don't want to be in Tucson anymore, like Tucson's so boring, blah blah blah. But to know like people like literally come here from around the world just to see this one mission is pretty cool, because a lot of cities don't have that kind of aspect in their towns.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great place to start.
Yeah.
And learn.
So do you have like any final things you want to share with me about like your past, like just like where you come from, just like anything like that? Like maybe we can talk about like, what do you think? Because you live in a different area of Tucson now than when you did when you were younger, correct?
Yes.
So what do you think now is the difference between those two areas? Like, do you like the area you live in now more than the area you used to live in, or do you miss the old area you used to live in? Like, what do you think?
I miss the old area because it's always home to me. And I think and I think the stores around there, the people, like it just feels more like home or like home back when I was a child, so it just brings, I guess, that
like
comfort.
Normalcy?
Yeah, well, I guess more like the comfort of like when I go to like the Garnacerias, like it just brings like that comfort of my childhood, because that's what I grew up in. But I like the area we're at now too, because it's just more, I think, feasible, where there's just, if you need something, there's a lot more around. I think for me, like for that everyday life.
It's just like more convenient for our lifestyle.
Yes.
Like, because my little sister, she's doing her dancing.
But also just like the household things, like the shopping, the cooking, and all that. I also think it's, safer neighborhood for kids growing up than where I was at.
Yeah.
But I mean, and the houses are a lot different. They're newer houses over here compared to the older houses over there as well.
So, do you want to say any like final words about like San Javier, what it means to you, anything like that?
I just think it's important part of our family, and I hope that in Tucson community, but more for the family.
Yeah.
So I hope as you're researching and writing about this, you find that connection with it, I guess, as well, to see, just like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's it.
This was my interview with Elizabeth Camarena. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And also, do I have your consent to record you?
Yes, you do.
Okay, thank you.